So this is a great Torah portion. It's actually a horrible Torah portion. Who are we kidding? It's a great Torah portion to discuss. But come on. Father's about to kill his son. So, just briefly, there's the classic interpretation, that this is a failure of Abraham. He is tested because he did not stand up to his wife for doing something ethical. And so God tests him, and the first line is all said in sarcasm. I want you to take your son, because obviously you don't think of Ishmael as your son, and Shechiracha, the one that your only son, because obviously you don't think of Ishmael as your son, Asher Achavta, the one that you love, because obviously you can love Hagar, or love Ishmael. So the whole thing is done at the beginning, it's done in sarcasm, followed by the end of it. He sneaks out, same language that is used later on. When people get fanatical and they sneak out, same exact language that's used later in the Torah. And he, all before then, anytime God would say Abraham, Abraham would immediately say Hineni. This time, as he's about to kill his son, God has to say twice, Abraham, Abraham. The proof that it's a failure for Abraham is that Sarah dies. Isaac goes blind. We're taught he gets trauma blindness at this point, and God never talks to Abraham again. But we're not going to talk about that today and go into the depths of it. I just think it should always be mentioned. Because, this is called the binding of Isaac, not the binding of Abraham. We get so lost because of the commentaries and thoughts from our Catholic and Christian friends and neighbors who compare this to Abraham sacrificing Isaac to God sacrificing Jesus. We've gotten so lost that we've forgotten this isn't called the binding of Abraham. What is this parsha? What is this phrase? What is this all called? Does anyone know the technical term? Akedat Yitzchak, the binding of Isaac. It's not about Abraham. It's about Isaac. Yeah, I like to toss out the idea because people get too caught up in the cosmology or theology of it being about Abraham, and they kind of miss a point. But the reality is, this is not a story of Abraham. This is a story of Isaac. Now, Isaac, it would sound like, is a child. But he's a grown man when this happens, depending on the commentator you ask. There's some who believe he's as old as 41, some say he's 37. There are different ideas, but he is certainly a grown man. Stronger and more agile than his Alta-Cocker father. Right? I mean, look, Abraham's not exactly a young dad. I think I'm an old first-time dad. Compared to Abraham, I'm a baby, right? He's an old man when he has Isaac, and now he's an even older man. But Isaac allows his father to take him. And Isaac asked the question that we just heard. Isaac asked the question, Dad, where's the sacrifice? And Abraham says, oh, God's going to provide. You don't think Isaac knows? This God has provided always reminds me of the old story of the Orthodox couple. Well, I'm sorry, they're not Orthodox, but their daughter has fallen in love with an ultra-Orthodox young man, and they want to get married. And so she brings this man who's really this terrific young man and has done nothing but study his whole life at the age of 22. And he comes in and they have dinner. And so the father says to the young man, so you study, right? He goes, yeah. How are you going to make a living? God will provide. You're going to try and get a house? Absolutely. How are you going to pay the down payment? God will provide. You're going to have kids? Am I going to have grandkids out of this? Absolutely. And how will you pay for such grandchildren? God will provide. And so the couple leave, and the mother talks to her husband. She goes, so honey, what do you think of our prospective new son-in-law? He goes, he's fabulous. He thinks I'm God. Isaac says the same thing. Isaac says the same thing. Isaac says, God, he says, Daddy, where's the sacrifice? And Abraham says, God will provide. He gets up onto a rock. Remember, he is significantly stronger than his father. He gets up on a rock. It talks about Abraham bound him to the rock, right? How did Abraham get this strapping young man on the rock? Well, he picked him up. It's Abraham, the Incredible Hulk. Picked him up with one hand. He said, Isaac, I need you on the rock. And Isaac goes on the rock. Abraham's going to bind him? No. Isaac allows himself to be bound. Isaac is so tied to God that Isaac even has faith as Abraham has a knife and is about to kill him. That's how much faith Isaac has in God. It is the binding of Isaac, not of Abraham. It is Isaac's faith which is so beautiful. Isaac, who is the only one of the patriarchs who never leaves the Holy Land. Isaac, from whom we learn meditation. There's this great midrash that when Rebekah, his wife, is brought to see him, he is meditating. And there's this glow around him, and it's so beautiful. His neshama is so bright that his future wife falls off of her donkey. That's why she fell off. There's a beautiful there's a beautiful series of silk paintings I want to recommend to everyone. There's a film director named Jeremy Kagan. He directed The Chosen, The Journey of Natty Gann. He did a series of silk paintings of every one of the portions of the Torah. And it's beautiful. The one that he has of Isaac, do you remember seeing that? And the one he has of where Rebekah falls off her donkey, he's got Isaac sitting there and this rainbow glow around him. In the background, a woman falling off her donkey. It's really a beautiful concept. Isaac is so holy and so, we talk about Abraham, oh, great Abraham. We talk about Jacob, the father of the 12 tribes. We talk about, his dreams and ladder. We talk about Joseph and his sons. Right? But Isaac is so holy. So holy. He has such faith in God. We talked, on Erev Rosh Hashanah, we talked about belief and faith and action, right? That for us, faith is not love. None of this is action. We talked yesterday about love is action. Judaism is not about words or feelings. It's about action. He didn't think he was going to die. He had that much faith in God. He knew God would take care of him. That is astounding. I try and pray every day and every night to God, and I say, God, please grant me more faith. Isaac truly had perfect emunah, perfect faith. How many of us would be willing to be bound in that way, and as a result be bound with God? Faith is action in our tradition. We must act. And it is acting in the faith that, God, as we say in this passage from Jeremiah, God will always, always take care of us when we have faith. Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, of blessed memory, I was listening to a CD, a lecture of his recently, and in the lecture he talks at one point about how, when you need something, God provides it, and if God didn't provide it, you don't need it. Here's some examples of that, but the idea being to have the faith to really be bound, to really act, that's an astounding thing, isn't it? The second day of Rosh Hashanah is to teach us about acting on that kind of faith. Not from here, not from the mind. That has destroyed our people. That's why 85% of Jews do not even go to temple 2 days a year. But from heart and action, to believe and to act, knowing that God will give back. God will take care of us. That's hard. It's not just hard for me, right? It's hard for everybody at different times. Okay, I feel so much better. So my prayer for all of us is to act in a way that demonstrates our faith. My prayer for all of us is to realize that that faith will always be taken care of, will always be rewarded, will always be treasured, because the end of the day, and the beginning of the day, and the middle, at all times, we have the greatest partner ever. We've got God, who will always, always take care of us. May we all be blessed to act based upon faith in God. May we all speedily receive the rewards of that faith and the blessings of God in every moment of this new year. Amen.